Right now, oh, it's a two issue. Just like Susan Bier, when I come to, okay, it was a Mexican side. It was a Mexican police side who does not want me to study nursing because he's the one that who created the lie. Where, yeah, where, we are going, where, yeah, it was a Mexican police line that who did not want me to start because he's the one that who created. Well, she's gonna come to Susan Bier, but she will be removed by the Christy Mayer, and she will go back to the Los Angeles. That's what the Mexican American police plan and tell the Christy Mayer since they play together. Okay, and then they are using now U.S. police line. Yeah, that's the that's the how the police is working, how they are behaving. And then same thing, it's the same pattern. Susanville pattern and Anchorage pattern was the same thing. And Anchorage pattern were from California police, this line that who's working behind their uniform. Where she's going to leave the Alaska, she will be harassed there and she's going to leave. And that's what they did. And just like what they think, look what I'm going through. They hold police power, Anchorage police, okay, not to investigate anything, not to do anything. What Mr. Chang is doing while they brought Mr. Chang to do the crime. This is how police is sitting in police system and receiving monthly salary to bust the crime, and this is what they are doing. Okay, they you know they they ruin citizens life, okay, just like what I'm going through. And then they'll even let Mr. Chang knowing what crime he's doing, okay, so let him to do more crime from the abroad in order for them to get away and creating more crimes in US society. Okay, this is what and then where they hold police power, Anchorage Police Department. Well, let them play. And because Anchorage Police Department was already in the play, they had to listen, just like Lassen College. They were already in play, and then they have to listen the request from to remove me because they were already in play. So they listen, they listen how Mr. Chang, and then all this, line was playing. Majorly Mr. Chang played. And, they are, and how California was behaving, okay? Because the reason he create, I threatened, yeah, I threatened my ex. That's how I fare. So once they brought Mr. Chang in 2019, they let him spread that rumor throughout California. And who did it? His Espanol line, because they were working. So they, at the same time, Espanol, they let Mr. Chang, Mexican, Chinese Korean, Mr. Chang, Chinese Korean, is spreading rumor through the SNS in South Korea, okay, with other Filipino like Mohammed and Russian and Indian, okay, and in USA they hold by using the police power, and then also the Lassen College, okay, Lassen College did it. So through their network they block this community, this public school. Through their power they block and almost entire my career in California, that I got so pissed out. This is how they play, okay. So that is what, and then everybody say California is corrupted, California is corrupted. And they, you know, and police, okay, this Mexican police said, well, we're not the only one. I made a network throughout USA. Yeah, they made a network throughout USA. So now, world, Alaska is corrupt as California. Okay, so now they are showing how corrupt. They are even shooting the laser and Anchorage Police Department because the California told to do so. They are not taking care this laser event. Right now they are shooting so many. So just like Susanville, I think that's how the this police member, how they think that they could do everything in California, in USA, where she's going to come to Susanville, she's going to remove by Christy Meyer, and she will go down. And then Alaska, same thing, where she's going to come to Anchorage. Okay, she will be harassed and she will be leave. Okay, she will leave. This is how, while, yeah, this is how the police is thinking. So they told Anchorage Police Department not to do any, okay? And then they let Mr. Chang to harass my case by shooting the laser, spreading the rumor, and even setting up, yeah, it was Anchorage Police Department who set it up, Hells Angel. Behind Hells Angel, there is a white who lives with a Mexican woman and doing things, okay, who bought like $80,000 a car, and he also buy the house by cash. So yeah, there's a money trend, and also there's a Mohammed, and while he's doing all this kind of crime and things like that. So one of their member, first one was glacial electrician, the second one was now the white truck. They were breaking in more than 100 times and continually, doing things what Mr. Chang told him to do, because this police, Mexican police, brought Mr. Chang to do the crime on me by letting their street people. That's why it was Mr. Chang. Yeah, they do the crime, okay? They are breaking in, not for their own will, okay? Because by the command. Who gives? Mr. Chang, okay? That's why they were saying, what Mr. Chang told me to do. That's why Mr. Chang was Mr. Chang. Yeah, so now, just like how California is being corrupt, they showed, and whole state knows. And then Alaska, Anchorage is showing how corrupt they are, the police system, okay? And then Russian American community, they, cooperated. While at the top, white allowed, okay? White allowed. And then the third things, while I was working outside, they don't want me to live in Anchorage, okay? So they were shooting my hand, okay? Mexican, okay? I'm not abusive. While Mexican American police, okay? And then also Mr. Chang. I'm not abusive. I made the house. I made it because God has been helped. It's not my ability. As you've been victimized. I don't have to leave California. Leaving California, that the cost was about 20,000 airplane and also the auto and all other expense. Okay, and I throw away a lot of my item, from California to Alaska. I financially, and I lost a lot of time because last and college lie. Okay, last and college lie. They have to accept me. I was waiting for it, but they continue to lie, and and they share. Okay, that because of the time, I was waiting, and I have the house. I lost about 4 years without doing anything, thinking that I would go back to, I would go back to the last and college because that's what they should do. But Mexican police told the last in college not to accept me. So, 4 years without planning, it was in the air. And in Anchorage, they are doing it. And knowing, yeah, in Anchorage, same thing. Well, she's gonna She's gonna go because this police line control the crime line. They get what they want. This is an issue. And this line, this activity is too much in USA. And they do whatever they want. Look, everybody's being sued the laser. And this Anchorage, because they were already played. Just like, last in college, you know, what they told him do, they cannot deny because they already accepted it, the money and sweet the technology in order to do the things in society. Okay, so they cannot deny. So California, while there are also network. She will leave to the Anchorage, and she will be harassed there. She's going to leave Anchorage. Yeah, that's why how I book on Sunday. And then the third issue, the main issue is why Mexican police line let Mr. Chang purposely to play. They are killing people. Now they are harming people who has innocent, but obey whatever they are doing. This is what society is doing it. Okay. On Sunday, I'm innocent. I'm practically innocent. But look what I'm going to do. For police, few members to get away. They brought Mr. Chang to do the crime on me. Okay. While we're not doing it, but that's the Mexican people, they're very good at using those kind of technology. I think they're very good. I don't know about the white, they're playing together. Mexican work it out and white at the top allow it. Mhm. That's what's going on. They brought Mr. Chang, same own community. By bringing the Mr. Chang, they are blocking Korean America. They are also blocking Korea. Why the all the crime that they are doing? Because who's covering is the same nationality, Korean to Korean. This is how Mexican is playing. So they brought Mr. Chang. By bringing Mr. Chang and let him to play the crime on me will block Korean American community and also South Korea community. And unfortunately, Mr. Chang accepted it because this police line give him the power of snatching the money behind it. Now, Mexican community knew throughout who brought Mr. Chang is their police line to do the crime on me to take care of my case. Okay. They don't want me to live in Anchorage. So who are shooting it is a Mexican outside while I was doing the yard work. Who was shooting is Mexican. It's not Chinese Korean and it's not Mr. Chang. Who's shooting while I'm doing the yard work is a Mexican ex-soldier. They don't want me to live in Anchorage because I left California. Okay? They don't want to show while they already corrupt because of what they did. I left. They don't accept it. They want to show Anchorage, Alaska worse than California. So now they are accepting it. Okay? Accepting it. Now it's worse. Everybody knows it's worse than, California, what I'm going through. Okay. While I was doing doing the blocking and cleaning the yard, they were shooting the laser. My hands was so swollen, I couldn't even grab. It was like, it's so swollen. Yesterday, Monday, I went to take care of my elder man. He said, you know what, on Sunday, when I wake up, my hands got so swollen, I couldn't even grab. Exactly, it's a laser shooting. Why they shoot him? Because all white people will find out the truth, what I'm going through. That's why the Mexican shoot him, blaming. Okay, yeah, that's why they shoot the white man. So while he has no idea, this is how they victimize people here and there. Mhm. I want, I go to Salvation Army, and there, yet on Sunday, there is a lot of white men and Mexican and also Chinese, Korean. I participate at church. Then me presenting there, people will find out the truth. So they suit the white men to get victimized. This is how they are working. It's no, it doesn't link because he has a total out. That's how they, my kid, same thing. It's a Mr. Chang's. The crime is Mr. Chang is doing it. Okay. Crime is, this is unconnected. And then who's supporting and doing together is a Mexican police line because they investigated. They investigated the link, okay? But they cannot link. While I was going through 9 years, I cannot make a link of it because they teach. They are Mexican is making Mr. Chang to become that way. It's not Mr. Chang. He doesn't because Mexican know he has no clue of U.S. society what is going on. So I saw the pattern, the play while Mexican American born, they born, but they usually play with their Korean American first generation. So they know. These people do not, while Mexican American know, born in U.S. society, know about the U.S. society, these Korean American do not know because they are first generation. But they still speak English. They are different nationality. Also, the Korean American is kind of innocent, kind of naive. So, oh, well, they are, so they play. And then just like Mr. Chang brought, he has no clue of what the heck is going on from abroad. While he shoot the laser, toward the US society, once they set it up, the device from abroad, abroad could shoot here and there, whatever. Okay. So without knowing much, they closed their eyes and they were doing the crimes. That's what this Mexican line is letting Mr. Chang and abroad to do it toward U.S. society. Okay, he doesn't know. He just shooting it without no feeling. Because here we could sense it, we know what is going on. They cannot do it. They cannot do the crime. So they let abroad to do it without they cannot feel what is going on. They only let them do the crime. Like here I talk in California, they screw something in December 2024. I was just talking maybe, and just for that word, they do the in California. So on connection, because who's playing is a police and detective and FBI. They went to soldier in order to make world peace and society peace. Now they are doing the crime, just like what I'm going through. Yes, I am going through in USA. By whom? Police. Police control, even not only control locally, even brought abroad. Let them do the crime while they feel nothing. Here we feel, we sense, we talk. So they cannot do it locally. So they let abroad to do it without, while they don't feel nothing. They cannot sense. This is not thing. This is something that U.S. police need to do, take care. Okay, yeah. And I think my elder man's is a two-story. He was living in the basement, but my house is a first. So should, yes, is, I could think. But while he lives in two-story, he live and then he sleep during night first story, but they still shoot, knowing where he is at. It's just something gotta take care.